Why do snakes like sandalwood more? You will be surprised if you know the secret behind it. Sandalwood tree. Sandalwood is cool. Snake nests under the sandalwood tree most of the time, but why? Many people know sandalwood tree as favorite tree of snakes, prefer to cling to those sandalwood trees, and most of the world's most venomous snakes live in these sandalwood trees. Today's report is about this. Today I will tell you some unknown information about the relationship between sandalwood tree and snake in this report. If you have seen sandalwood or watched any video about sandalwood before, then you will notice most of the venomous snakes live here. But they live on the branches of the tree and not down. Halflings are the coldest blooded animals. His blood is cold. Perhaps they prefer to live in colder places, due to which snakes are more frequent in hot season. Snakes are also seen hiding in different places of the house. Many people think that the fragrance of sandalwood tree is very loved by you, but let us inform you that snakes have no ability to smell. They can feel everything with their tongue. They sense with their tongue what lies ahead. That is exactly why the snake's organism keeps coming out of the mouth again and again. As a result, they can feel what is going on around them, and this is how snakes stay alert. They also use their tongue to find food, and with this tongue they can feel how cold the sandalwood tree is. The lower part of the sandalwood tree is very cold, and not only snakes but many other cold-loving animals live in the lower part of this sandalwood tree. Did you know that when a sandalwood tree is cut, it is not cut from the bottom but from the top? The main reason behind doing this is that the person cutting the tree knows very well that the snake may be at the bottom. Now the big question is, snakes don't have legs, so how do they make holes? Notice that sometimes snakes live in burrows and sometimes come out of their burrows, but how do they make that hole? The answer is no, they live in other people's holes. When snakes chase them to eat mice or something like that, they come back to their nests. It is there that the snakes accept and take refuge in their pits. Now another question may come to mind: how all hunt at night? How do they find prey at night? If you look closely at any snake, you will see that there are two small holes in their face. These holes are called pits. So let's find out what the snake does through this surface. It is very convenient for you to detect hits through this picture. You can say that these two peaks of the snake are heat detection sensors, means can measure temperature from a distance. Snakes can sense cold and hot objects without seeing them. A mouse passed in front of a snake at night and went into the tongue it made. Snake, but to detect that hit means it can follow the mouse to measure the temperature. This is done through the pieds, which are the 2 feet on their face. Now know why snakes shed their shells. They shed their shells 4 to 5 times a year, regardless of their mate on Earth. Now the question is, why do they do it? Snake grows very fast, means snakes grow from small to big very soon, but during that time their skin cannot grow as fast as their body. Then the skin or shell becomes so tight that the snake's body does not fit properly. Suppose you wear a size smaller than you, then it is the same. The mind then bursts open their shell, and that is what we call shedding. Let us know that the new skin of the snake is already formed inside. In this way, as the 7 continue to grow, they leave the shell. In this way, many people may be wondering what snakes can hear. In that context, Rocky curses do not hear because they don't have ears. Then tell me how they can make such a subtle sound. Then let me tell you that snakes, like humans, cannot hear, but there is a special bone in them that rate is too thin or subtle for anyone to detect sound. This tooth is located near their jaw, means where humans have ears, snakes have rates. Whenever a sound comes from somewhere, that rate helps to understand that sound and is a signal to the brain sense that something is happening around. Then the snake became cautious. First, with their tongue they try to understand what the situation is, and then their delicate special 2 bones send small word messages to the snake. Third, they have 2 small spines that sense heat and help the snake know what prey is ahead or whether there are any victims at all. So much information is processed in their brain at once, and all these together they can wander in our world, and thus they can feed. How many species of snakes have you heard about? 1 or 2? 5 or 10? Let us inform you that there are 3,686 species of snakes in this world. But it has been proved so far, but beyond this there are many more species of snakes which have not been found yet. The Himalayan pith viper snake that lives many thousands of feet above the ground, as well as many other species that all it is high above the ground. Their bodies and skins are very different, and their acceptance style is also different. There are many snakes that live more in trees, as well as some snakes that live on fire. If a snake is chasing you, can you run faster than the snake? Answer is no, because there are some snakes in this world whose speed is so high that you won't believe it. Black mamba must have heard these 7 names. It is the fastest snake in the world. This snake can run at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour, which may sound small, but it is very fast when running. If this snake gets behind you, and if you are lucky enough to survive, then that is great, but most of the time it doesn't happen because its speed is equal to or higher than that of humans. Let it be known that the poison of this black mamba snake is so terrible that if a person is bitten by it, it is almost impossible for him to survive. Snakes are such things that any person in the world prefers to stay away from, but there are some people in the world who worship snakes at home, means apart from dogs and cats, snakes are kept at home. Snakes are their favorite. 10% of people in the world are snake lovers according to a 2012 survey. There are 1,125,000 people in the United States who keep beautiful snakes in their homes. Keep snakes in aquariums. Even snakes are very rare species in some cases. Some people use Ashgara pushin.